We heard some news literally hours after Easter ended that Pope Francis had passed away. And the crazy thing to me, Sabrina, is that I saw photos like maybe an hour before I went to bed last night or on Sunday night that showed J.D. Vance meeting with Pope Francis. And the fact that he then passed away mere hours later, I thought was really interesting. I think that this Pope was sort of known for being, I don't want to use the word woke, but he had some differences, shall we say, with some of the things that I think a lot of conservatives championed. Like, I know he was very strong on his opinion of the immigration situation here in America, and some other questionable things like Joe Biden going to visit and the way he reacted with him, Nancy Pelosi, etc. So just wanted to get your take on the news of the Pope's passing.
I think it was shocking as well. I mean, I guess JD Vance left quite the impression,
Yeah,
for
maybe
lack of a
so.
better term. But maybe he met him and he was like, "Oh, I can go now that I've met the JD Vance." But yeah, the timing was pretty wild, especially with Easter and sending love to all my Catholic friends right now during this. But yeah, as you mentioned, this Pope was, I know, very liberal, especially when it came to trans ideology, to the LGBTQ community, to immigration. So I'm very curious to see what the Catholic Church does next and who they do appoint in this position.
Yeah, Chrissy, they have to, I guess, vote. I think it's like 2 weeks from now or something. They vote in a new pope. I kind of feel like this pope was maybe just a signal of the time that we were previously in, that I'm hopeful we've sort of moved out of at this point, and maybe more commonsensical type things are coming back to the forefront.
Well, you see, right now there was a new poll that released finding that young people, ironically, are actually moving away from a lot of the non-denominational churches
Right.
towards a lot of these really traditional services. There's a resurgence of Catholicism, not just in America, but kind of across the globe. And so I think it would be smart for the Catholic Church to uh, kind of lean into those principles of conservatism, given that that's what's on the rise right now. And if that's what they're doing, is they're kind of going with the sign of the times, that's what we would anticipate. But who knows? Sometimes once you go left, you just never seem to come back.
Yeah, I know it's sad. And before we started the show, I asked you both if you were Catholic. I am not Catholic.
So.
So it's almost a little bit hard for me to fully relate to what Catholics may feel in this moment, because I know that there is this hierarchy that happens within the Catholic Church. I grew up Methodist and Baptist, and we just go straight to God. We go straight in for the prayer. So, but I know it's a big moment, and I do think that the Pope is important. I think that whoever they choose to be the next Pope, maybe hopefully they're watching this show, Chrissy. Hopefully they're taking some of your advice, because I do think it's important for that person to reflect the moment and sort of the shift. And we've seen a big shift definitely here in America, but I kind of think it's a ripple effect around the world with all of this stuff. So we'll see what ultimately happens.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.